Hello, anyone and everyone. Iron Farm and Villager Breeder or Villager Trader. An echo in my ears. Just give me a second. Alright, so this is what I've got. The iron, this collects the iron golems. There's a 3x3 hole in the middle. And you can see I've got beds lined up. So we can go inside. So that's the kill chamber for the iron golems. We're here to stop mobs getting through, but lava in the middle, kept there by buttons and signs sitting on a button. So it's 3x3. You can see now the bed heads are located close to the middle of this. So the bits of the beds that you can see here are the bed heads. And that makes the village centre be one of those beds. So actually another set of beds that you can't see. You can see the legs of there. So there's 5 on 2 sides, 3 on the other 2 sides to make up 16 per layer. So I've got 2 layers, so I've got 32 beds altogether. So 32 beds, all of the heads of the beds are touching the hole in the middle. Then there's a full length of waterfall before that hole in the middle to that, and I've got a row of what is it called? When you shovel the ground and it goes pathway. Yeah, so this full row of pathways. So the iron golem won't spawn on the pathway, but this isn't a legitimate block in terms of the distance from the bed head in the middle. So the iron golems could spawn on this edge, but because it's path, they don't spawn on pathways. So that's how I get around that. So the water flowing is really easy. All the water source blocks all the way around the edge, except for these 2 and these 2 on each corner. So by doing this, there's one block where water doesn't flow for a run by one mob. So I can stay here. I'm not having to use arrows or anything, but the iron golems are a 2x1 mob, and so they can't stay and get stuck in that hole. So there's, yeah, all right. I have an entrance. I use flowing water to stop mobs being able to get through, breaking down doors, or even trying to. So you'll find mobs will be stuck down here. That's as close as they get. But in order for me to go in there, I go into the water, I swim, and that makes me 1 block high, and then I'm able to get through. I've not had a mob come through this where I've had mobs come through other doors and entrances. Once you get later game and you've got lots of iron, you can put an iron door and a button. So I just started by putting all of the work benches out that I wanted. And I added the trapdoors, the side-to-side trapdoors. And then when the villagers came round and went to their working table, then I placed a trapdoor behind them to trap them in. But I do that yeah, I do that later. I do that once I've bred all of the villagers up to use all of the beds and all of the tables. So I've got 32 32 workstations for the villagers. So behind here, behind this dirt wall, is the beds. So the villagers can't ever get to the beds. Here's a couple that I haven't repositioned these yet because I'm still choosing the which librarians I want to keep, which ones have got the trades that I want. In here, I've got a zombie which I've name tagged, and you get the name tags from your librarian, like the first mending or unbreaking one that you train up. And I've got in here the stuff I need. So I also have a Fletcher that I get weakness arrows from. So it's just a matter of replacing the fletching table down over and over again until you get the trades you want. I've got the mod on that lets me see the later trades before I've traded with the villager, which is fun. And I just roll out the rail, and I put a powered rail, the very last one, and I convert the villager into a zombie. And I've only done it once, and that's allowed me to make all of these iron trades down to one iron per emerald. I've done my mending villager. I can't remember which one he is. The looting villager I must have done. Into one as well, just with a single curing. That's pretty much it. I always start with the farmer villagers. And then I make all of the rest fishermen. So I just place barrels everywhere, and then I slowly replace the barrels once I'm ready for the villager to become a particular villager, and I replace its table. You have to make sure that you don't have any other working tables down here. So like this temporary bone meal machine that then drives my sugarcane duplicator. I might have to break this if one of them pairs with it. So it's just knowing what any other villager working table might need to be broken. I found that bed over there was far enough away that none of my villagers paired with it. But I see villagers pair with this one, or try to pair with this one all the time. But if I started seeing villagers spawn outside of this area, then I would just break that bed and leave it broken. And then the iron golems would start spawning in here. Seeing whether there's anyone with any other questions. Been messing around with my resin farm. Show you what I've done. I've found out that I couldn't get the trident farm to work with more than one creaking at a time. It would just keep re-damaging the same creaking. So I had 4 hearts in it. But now I've only got 1. So there's the 1 heart and the rest are just blanks. But I get think I got the 22 blocks of resin plus a bit more, so at least 22 blocks of resin from just one night. Yeah. Got a system here that allows me to turn it off when I'm not using it, to turn it back on. So I've got a switch that I use to turn it off, and I've got a button to press to trigger it to start again. I've been the wandering traders every time they appear, and collecting just resources that I know would be hard to find if I needed them. Can't be bothered chopping down mangrove trees, even though I've got poptules or whatever they're called. Mangroves growing here, but they're a pain to cut down with the wood. I've made this creeking farm too far away, so I can't, I'm not confident that it's spawned a creaking. Now I can hear the noises of the creaking. I've got this flowing water, so I've just put some cactuses up. They just get broken when they grow up on the fence palings. Free cactus. I can show you how much iron. Well, you get quite a bit of iron from the iron farm. I just come in here and I'm gonna, one day I'll connect all of these farms together, and so that I don't have to go and manually recess them, but I'm just compacting them. Got some other automatic farms down here. Automatic bamboo, automatic sugarcane, automatic melon and pumpkins. Will end up in this chest here. Some extra stuff. Bamboo here. Just use bamboo as your wood, don't you? Well, I do. I'm carrying resin blocks around because you can mine with your fist. I can still hear the sounds of the creaking. Don't have this place lit up very well. We're hearing every now and again another iron golem go in. See, since the last time I was in here, we're already up to 27. That's plenty for me. You can compost all your piece. I've got a mob farm over here too. Whatever I might need. Because you can't make it. And I've got all of these bows are enchanted. So the idea being that I could cut them all together when mine breaks. I'll use it to heal mine. I've also got hiding down here a lava farm, a dripstone farm, and I placed the lava over here to convert it into obsidian. So that's where I get my obsidian from. That's cool. Making a fair bit. But this 6 must have been what was in there. Like, ignoring the blocks, we're only collecting the resin clumps. That's a fair amount. You can up here. I wondered why I got pushed to the side, but I must have been touching the water. What I like about this design, it's just your standard trident kill chamber, and by placing the freaking heart at the side there, the same pistons that are moving the trident around can also sweep the resin off the walls. They can't spawn on fences. They spawn on these solid blocks that are waterlogged. It's hard to see the water, but that washes the creaking pretty quickly into the chamber. So above here I've got half slabs. Also seem to stop the creaking from spawning. Right, the sun's coming up. I think as soon as the creaking despawns, I think I can sleep. The phantoms from coming out the next night. Maybe I won't make it in time. Did it? Yep, so there's enough time. Make it from there. Right, so let's go and see how much resin we got. So if I put the resin here, that was the 6 from last time. So 20, 21, more than 20 blocks. I think I had 22, 23, and now 21. Which is pretty good. The last 3 tests. I've got a slime chunk down here. This is the slime chunk in the distance there. If I give it a second or two. Can run over. I should be able to automate this too. But I don't like AFK farms. I don't want to be sitting at something. I've got to figure out how to make that more fun. And so I dug this tunnel out. I was trying to do this is on a chunk boundary. And so 2 blocks in either side, a 4x4 tunnel, so that the slime could spawn, and from this I could determine where the nearest slime chunk was for me. Once I figured out, so they kept spawning here, and so I determined that it was this chunk that they were spawning in, and so I carved it all out. Cool. So there's another chunk further down. And I've got one more thing that I'll show. I've got an amethyst geode. Now I couldn't find an easy way to find the amethyst geode. So I did cheat and use chunk base. I was just lucky that this is going to be my my storage room eventually. And I did happen to have an amethyst geode close. I'm experimenting with a moss farm here. I've got a amethyst geode just here. I can go and collect my shards and this. And if I'm using these lots, I'm not sure whether I'll just put a piston on each of the amethysts to push them off into a water stream and bring them up here. A pretty simple design. I build the platform 24 blocks away. And I've got water flowing in both sides. So water sources all along the edges. And the scaffolding. So anything that spawns gets washed into the center, down to where you saw the violent cool chamber. Time. So I started with just I killed 4 spiders, got enough string to make just a couple of rows of the bamboo scaffolding. So I started with that, and then I am collecting spider drops, and so I then, as I got more and more string from drops, it didn't actually take that long to enough string to then fully populate it. But this design, I'm trying not to use any quartz. So I've got the pistons behind this block here. It's being triggered by this. So it's normally powered from behind. So if I take the I lost the torch into the hopper. Oh well. Yeah. But when I place this down, because this block is being powered from behind, it'll immediately turn off, which gives a really quick pulse, and that pulse travels around. It's the next one. So by creating a pulse, the piston pops really quickly. Like experience through that hole. So the design of the machine up there is the same, but I wanted to add a delay. So this, I've kind of broken it, but this side is pretty much a model of what's up there. This time I've got here a pulse generator. So this torch, keep this one on. When this goes off, this one will come on, and there's just a couple of seconds when this will pulse off. Sorry, like less than a tick. And that's long enough to turn this on, which then sends the pistons out and back really quickly. I then repeat that signal. I actually repeat it with 2 repeaters on 4 ticks. So this has moved one more block across. And then I've got that same process on the next side. And sorting's hard too. Yeah, so there are the 2 repeaters there. That pulse generator. And then the redstone triggers the pistons. Now, the bottom piston's triggered by the torch. The next piston above is triggered by the block. And then on top of the block, there's a piece of redstone dust. So, to do all 3 pistons in one go. Alright, well, that's progress so far in this world. I do have a shulker farm and a wool farm. Yeah. I'm gonna leave you to it.